love making these pantry meals because I get to rotate the stock in the pantry and I get to get a little bit like weird creative. Mike does this too sometimes, and we kind of refer to them in like, oh, Daddy made goulash, which is just, sometimes we call it redneck goulash because it'll be like the most random things, and generally he puts ketchup in it, which I disagree with on every level, but that's a whole different argument. So really it boiled for 30 minutes and then I turned it off and it exploded. But that is neither here nor there. It's basically, it's done. Hey guys, welcome to TCR. Sid here. Thanks for clicking on the video. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Today I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna make something with just things out of this pantry. It's a last minute prepper meal. Let's go. All right guys, so I am here in the prepper pantry and I was trying to think today, like, what am I gonna make for dinner? What am I gonna do? And I started thinking, you know, tonight would be a good night to have a little bit of a challenge, which is to kind of walk through my prepper pantry, find some maybe random ingredients that I wouldn't necessarily normally cook with or put together, and try to come up with something yummy that the family actually likes, which sometimes can be challenging. So we're gonna try it. I think I've got some ideas, so let's go through and see what I can grab. All right, so the first thing I'm looking at here is, as far as green things go in the pantry, it's kind of limited. So really just have sweet peas. So, and there are green beans, but I don't know about you, I can't stand a canned green bean. If you feed me a canned green bean, I'll hurt you. I don't like them. I think they're gross. That's all I have to say about that. I think they're nasty. And there you go. And I know some of you guys are gonna beat us up in the comments. You're gonna see that some of these are Kroger cans. We won't be buying any more of their products any longer because, well, if you know, you know. So moving right along, I'm gonna grab a couple cans of these sweet peas. Sweet pea. I have somewhat of a plan. I've got some chicken stock here that we've made, and I've got the sweet peas. And then I've got some refried beans. Now, I have made soup with this before. It's been a really long time. Sorry, you guys, the lighting isn't the best in this corner, so my apologies. I haven't done it in a while, but it helps kind of thicken your soup. It's added protein, and it works. So we're gonna take a couple cans of these refried beans, and I'm gonna add this to the mix as well. What else do we put in it? Can of corn, why not? Can't go wrong with corn, right? Everybody likes corn for the most part, and you get to enjoy it over and over again as time goes on, right? Let's see, what else do I want to throw in here? These are a lot of just beans and veggies on this side. I do like black-eyed peas. Maybe I'll throw some of those in there. Can't hurt, right? Throw some black-eyed peas in there. Why not? Why not? I got a lot of garbanzo beans, but I feel like that's a lot of beans. I mean, you make a 3-bean soup, right? So I could make a random bean soup, which is basically, I think, what this is gonna turn into. And they're either gonna love it or they're gonna hate it. And honestly, I almost don't care either way. I do have meat that we've canned on the shelf. I don't think I'm gonna add any meat to this. I think I'm gonna keep it vegetarian tonight just for funsies. I know I have one of these salsas already open in the fridge, so I think I might add some of that when I'm cooking. Now I've got pastas, rice, those kinds of things down here. I don't know if I want to add any pasta to it, to be honest. I know a lot of you are like, oh, you need carbs, you need carbs. I'm just not really feeling the whole pasta noodle vibe. You know what I do love is cannellini beans. So I am gonna add some of those just for funsies and variety, because why not? And maybe I should add a can of black beans. This will be a lot of beans, you guys. I'm gonna light a match near our house, lordy. Well, I guess it's not vegetarian because I'm using animal stock. So there's that. That's my crawfish stock. I don't really want to use that in this. Here's a chicken stock. We'll add this to the mix too. And those refried beans are gonna thicken it up. So I'm gonna throw a bunch of seasoning in there. I'm gonna dump these all into a pot. Let's take it in the kitchen and see what happens. All right, so I used my chafing dish here to bring everything in, and I did grab, because I happened to see these. I know I bought these for something I was making. It might have been for when I was making chili, but I had another can of these, and I'm like, well, might as well use these and throw these into the mix. So now I'm gonna spend the next hour and a half of my life opening up these cans. All right, so I'm still over here opening up cans, but so for those of you who've never used refried beans, like canned refried beans in a soup, maybe it's like a totally like a Mexican thing, I don't know. I just know that I've done it before. Perhaps I invented it. I don't know. I think it's probably something akin to like when we have, you know, leftover mashed potatoes and you decide to make a soup out of it. I think it's sort of the same kind of deal. But it makes your thick soup. Makes your soup nice and thick, and then you can just add stock. But I love making these pantry meals because number one, you get to rotate your stock, which is totally important. Sorry, I never know where to look on my phone for the lens. I'm like, I'm staring at the red dot, not the red dot, the other red dot. I don't know. Anyway, I love making these pantry meals because I get to rotate the stock in the pantry and I get to get a little bit like weird creative. Mike does this too sometimes, and we kind of refer to them in like, oh, Daddy made goulash, which is just, sometimes we call it redneck goulash because it'll be like the most random things, and generally he puts ketchup in it, which I disagree with on every level, but that's a whole different argument. So, and I have a worse can opener. That's not true. It's just old, and the teeth on it I think are getting sad, and it doesn't want to, it wants to fight me. It wants to fight for its freedom. All right. Those of you that are asking, yes, I'm dumping all of my cans, as far as the beans, the corn, all of that, into a strainer in my sink right now because I like to rinse them really well. Even the ones that say that they don't have any salt added or no preservatives and all that stuff, it's still, I don't know, canned veggies and beans always have that kind of slime, and they've been sitting in that like weird water. I did hear a trick the other day, don't know if it's true, that if you take like your bean water and your rice water and stuff like that, this has not been fact checked, guys, but that if you save that water and you give it to your plants, that makes your plants happy. I don't know if this is accurate information. This is what I've heard. The last can. Gotta get rid of all this Kroger stuff on the shelves, you know? Gotta make it disappear. All right, I've got my fabulous Our Place pot here. They don't know me from Eve, but I have a couple of their things now, a skillet and their pot. The pot can actually go right into the oven, which is cool. I dig that feature. It strains the water out of your pasta. You can steam your veggies with it. There's a little rack that goes inside. It's pretty cool. And it's got the pour spout, so when you pour the water out, it's short and stout. I love it. Anyway, first thing we're gonna do is turn on the heat. We're gonna throw in our refried beans. I'm gonna add these first so I can season them really well. All right, let this start heating up and kind of essentially melting my beans. I'm gonna add just a little bit of that salsa that Mike made. This is actually out of our prepper pantry. This is some minced garlic. And we actually just recently opened this, and it's got a long way to go, so we need to get to using it. I know some people are gonna say that's a lot. It's not. In fact, welcome to my world. Cracked black pepper. I am gonna be adding some salt. Gotta love it. Let's get this stirred up here. The nice thing about this right now too is something like this will help heat up the house a little bit while it kind of simmers. Tomatoes in next. And actually might only need that one thing of stock. We'll see once I get everything else kind of added in here. So this is gonna be my base then. I want to let this kind of simmer and cook and live its best life. All right, I've got my washed garbanzo beans, black-eyed peas, sweet peas, corn, cannellini beans, the whole 9 yards. Hopefully I didn't overestimate here and it fits in the pot. I'm about to find out. Y'all ever done that before, or is it just me? It might just be me. So I'm just gonna stir this occasionally. Again, just random things out of my pantry just to kind of challenge myself a little bit. And I'm gonna stick the lid on it and just let it simmer on low while I go doing live out there with Mike. It's been simmering for about an hour. Actually, that's not true. I turned it off about 30 minutes ago because it boiled for 30 minutes and then I turned it off and it exploded. But that is neither here nor there. It's basically, it's done. This is the consistency, as you can see. All just stuff out of the pantry, rotating my stock, some seasoning, and good stuff. So I'm gonna have Mike taste this and get his honest opinion on camera.
Am I really gonna be honest?
Well, I don't know. You gotta blow on it. It's gonna be hot.
Blow on it. Okay, I'll be honest. I see black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
I see peas. I see tomatoes. I see corn. I see
fields of green.
red roses too. I see them blue. Need salt.
I put a bunch of salt.
just
Why do you
kidding.
always tell me you need
No, it's
salt?
good. I'm just kidding.
Such a peanut butter. So it's good? It's edible? It tastes like chicken?
There's a flavor in there that I recognize.
Yeah?
Yeah. A very commercial flavor.
Like refried beans, perhaps?
Well, maybe. You added refried beans to this?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I've done it before, I just haven't made it in a long time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, refried beans as part of your soup stock mixed together.
Huh.
It's
Who'da thought?
delicious. It makes it a little bit thick, it makes it a little
Can I
bit
have some more?
creamy. Well, you can get a bowl and eat it out
Yeah,
of a
that's
bowl.
something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a bowl.
There you have it, guys. An easy pantry meal, giving yourself a little bit of a challenge, giving you a little bit of a tip about trying those refried beans in your soup broth, because it just really adds a little something. And yum. It made the house smell good. And now it's time to go eat. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you get the notifications. Go challenge your pantry right now. See what you come up with.